Vikings. They came from Scandinavia. That's like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, cold places. Maybe that's why they left, to steal some sunshine, maybe a sheep or two. They were amazing sailors, crossed icy seas in boats like giant canoes. No GPS, no problem. They just followed the stars. Or maybe the smell of fresh bread. Vikings weren't afraid of a little fight. Actually, they loved a good scrap. They'd show up, swing some axes, grab some treasure, then sail off. Efficient. Imagine being a quiet monk tending your garden. Suddenly Vikings, not your average Tuesday. But hey, at least they liven things up, eh? Forget Columbus. Yes, you heard that right. While Columbus is often credited with discovering America in 1492, the truth is the Vikings beat him to it by nearly 500 years. These Norse explorers were the true trailblazers, venturing into unknown territories with their iconic longships. The Vikings were there first. Led by the intrepid Leif Erikson, they sailed across the treacherous North Atlantic, braving the elements and the unknown. Their journey was nothing short of epic, filled with adventure and discovery. Leif Erikson, what a lad. Born around 970 AD, Leif was the son of Eric the Red, the founder of the first Norse settlements in Greenland. Leif inherited his father's adventurous spirit and set out to explore new lands. Eventually landing on the shores of what we now know as North America, sailed to North America, called it Vinland. This land, rich with resources and natural beauty, was a stark contrast to the harsh landscapes of Greenland and Iceland. The name Vinland is believed to have been inspired by the wild grapes they found growing there, probably because they found grapes. Imagine the excitement of discovering such a bountiful land after weeks at sea. The Vikings must have felt like they had stumbled upon paradise, or maybe they just liked the name. They didn't stay long. Despite the promise of Vinland, the Vikings' stay was brief. Various factors, including conflicts with the indigenous peoples and the challenges of maintaining a distant settlement, led them to abandon their newfound land. Maybe the locals weren't too welcoming. The encounters between the Vikings and the indigenous peoples were likely tense and fraught with misunderstandings. The Vikings, known for their warrior culture, may have found it difficult to establish peaceful relations. Or maybe they missed the fjords. Who knows? The rugged beauty of their homeland, with its dramatic fjords and familiar landscapes, might have tugged at their hearts, making the decision to return home an easier one. Vikings weren't big on writing things down. Unlike other cultures that meticulously documented their histories, the Vikings relied on oral traditions and storytelling. This means much of their history, including their time in Vinland, remains shrouded in mystery. Too busy raiding and whatnot. The Vikings were known for their raids across Europe, which required strength, strategy, and a fierce spirit. These activities left little time for chronicling their adventures in distant lands. They did leave their mark, though. Literally, runestones they're called, Viking graffiti. These stones, inscribed with runic alphabets, serve as historical records and are scattered across the regions they explored. Ulf was here, that sort of thing. These inscriptions, often simple and direct, provide glimpses into the lives and travels of the Vikings. They might not be poetic, but they are invaluable pieces of history. Not very poetic, but hey, you try carving on a rock. The effort and skill required to carve into stone are immense, making these rune stones even more impressive. So next time you're in Newfoundland, keep an eye out. This region, believed to be part of Vinland, holds many secrets and remnants of the Viking past. The landscape itself tells a story of exploration and adventure. You might just stumble upon a Viking artifact or a moose. They've got those too. Newfoundland is rich in history and natural beauty, making it a fascinating destination for those interested in the Viking legacy and the wonders of the natural world. Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red. Talk about pressure. Imagine growing up with a father who discovered Greenland. That's a pretty big shadow to step out of. Eric the Red was a legendary figure, known for his fiery temper and his adventurous spirit. He was the kind of man who didn't just settle for the known world, he had to go out and find new lands. So you can imagine the kind of expectations placed on young Leif. Dad discovers Greenland, you've got to up the ante. Leif must have felt the weight of his father's legacy every day, but instead of being daunted by it, He embraced it. He knew that to make his mark, he had to do something extraordinary. And what could be more extraordinary than discovering a whole new continent? The seas were treacherous, the journey long and perilous, but Leif was determined. "Hold my mead," Leif probably said. "I am off to find a new continent." With a hearty laugh and a fearless heart, he set sail. The Vikings were known for their seafaring skills, and Leif was no exception. He gathered his crew, stocked his ship, and set off into the unknown. The open sea was both a challenge and a promise, and Leif was ready to face whatever came his way. And he did. Vinland, baby. After weeks of navigating the icy waters, battling storms and keeping morale high among his crew, Leif finally sighted land. This wasn't just any land, it was lush, green, and full of promise. He named it Vinland, the land of wine, because of the wild grapes that grew there. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to his courage and determination. Probably stumbled across it after a bit of a navigational error. Oops, wrong way! But hey, sometimes the best discoveries are made by accident. Life's journey wasn't without its hiccups. Navigational tools back then were rudimentary at best, and the vast ocean could easily lead even the most experienced sailors astray. But life's keen instincts and unyielding spirit saw him through. Oh well, looks nice here, and indeed it did. The new land was fertile and inviting, a stark contrast to the harsh landscapes of Greenland. Leif and his crew explored the area, marveling at its beauty and potential. They knew they'd found something special, a place that could support life and offer new opportunities. Anyone up for a barbecue? The Vikings were known for their camaraderie and love of feasting. After the long journey, they set up camp and celebrated their discovery with a hearty meal. The fire crackled, the smell of roasting meat filled the air, and laughter echoed through the night. It was a moment of joy and relief, a well-deserved break after their arduous journey. Leif was a bit of a trailblazer. He didn't just stop at discovering Vinland, he explored it, mapped it, and laid the groundwork for future expeditions. His leadership and vision were instrumental in opening up new possibilities for his people. He was a pioneer in every sense of the word, always looking beyond the horizon, always seeking new challenges. First European to set foot in North America. Take that, Columbus. Long before Columbus set sail, Leif had already made his mark on the New World. His journey was a testament to the Viking spirit of exploration and adventure. He proved that the world was much larger than anyone had imagined, and his legacy paved the way for future explorers. He even brought back some grapes. These weren't just any grapes. They were a symbol of the new land's fertility and promise. Leif's discovery of Vinland was more than just a geographical achievement. It was a glimpse into a world of new possibilities. The grapes were a tangible reminder of what lay beyond the known world, a promise of abundance and opportunity. Probably the first souvenir shop hall in history. Leif's return to Greenland with these exotic fruits must have caused quite a stir. It was a tangible proof of his journey, a piece of the new world brought back to the old. The grapes were more than just a novelty. They were a symbol of life's success and the potential of Vinland. So next time you're enjoying a glass of wine, raise a toast to Leif. His journey was a remarkable feat of courage and determination. He ventured into the unknown, faced countless challenges, and emerged victorious. His legacy lives on not just in history books, but in every glass of wine we enjoy. It's a reminder of the spirit of exploration and the endless possibilities that lie beyond the horizon. He may not have invented wine, but he certainly made exploring look cool. Leif Erikson was more than just a Viking. He was a symbol of the adventurous spirit that drives humanity to explore, discover, and push the boundaries of the known world. His story is a testament to the power of courage, vision, and the relentless pursuit of new horizons. So here's to Leif, the original trailblazer, and the man who made history with every step he took. Ragnar Lothbrok, a name that could scare anyone. He was a Viking king, a warrior, and a legend. But who was Ragnar Lothbrok? Was he a real person or just a story told by the Norse people? The truth is probably a mix of both. His story might be a bit exaggerated. They say he raided England and France, making everyone afraid of him. His name was spoken in fear in the halls of power. He even faced Charlemagne, Ragnar was known for his cleverness and his ability to outsmart his enemies. His strategies were legendary, as detailed as the designs on a Viking shield. He was also known for his strength and his unique trousers. Yes, his trousers were so special they became part of his legend. They showed his status and his dramatic flair. Some say he was captured by his enemies in a moment of weakness. His end was as dramatic as his life, a story of betrayal and tragedy. He was thrown into a pit of snakes. Imagine the horror, the writhing snakes, the hiss of their scales. It was a death fit for a legend, adding to his myth. Not the best way to go. But in Viking lore, it's a fitting end for a man who lived by the sword and died by the serpent. At least it wasn't spiders. Imagine if it had been spiders instead of snakes. Ragnar, the great Viking warrior, defeated by creepy crawlies. It would have been a different kind of legend, more humorous and less dignified. That's something, right? Whether he was real or a mix of fact and fiction, Ragnar's story is still told today. His legend has lasted through generations, showing the power of storytelling. Ragnar's story is still told today. Around campfires, in books, on TV, his name lives on. He represents the Viking spirit, their courage, ferocity and will. Proof that Vikings knew how to make an entrance and an exit. Ragnar Lothbrok, whether real or myth, has left a mark on history. His story shows how legends shape our understanding of the past and inspire us today. As we look at Viking artifacts, we wonder about the truth behind the tales. Was Ragnar real or a mix of many great warriors? The answer may never be clear, but the legend remains. And so the legend of Ragnar Lothbrok continues to captivate us. In festivals, reenactments and stories, his spirit lives on. He reminds us of a time when the world was wild and heroes walked among us. Whether we see him as a historical figure or a legendary hero, Ragnar Lothbrok embodies the Viking age. His story connects us to the bravery and adventure of the past. And as long as people listen to the tales and feel the thrill of adventure, Ragnar's legend will never die. It will continue to inspire and remind us of the power of a good story. So, was Ragnar Lothbrok a legend or an exaggerated truth? Maybe he was both. But one thing is certain, his story has stood the test of time and will continue for generations. In the end, it doesn't matter if Ragnar was real or imagined. What matters is the legacy he left behind, a legacy that continues to inspire and captivate us. And that in itself is a legend worth telling.